Hey everyone, my name is Perry and welcome back to the cassette phase. So I was just sitting here in the den working away today and I kind of looked around and noticed that I have a lot of these little figures, these little figurines from the 80s and the 90s. And I thought, hey, it might be kind of fun to do a quick little video where I talk about some of them. Because back in the day, these things were everywhere. It seemed like every cartoon, every movie, every video game had a little figure like this. Some of them came in Happy Meal boxes, some of them came in cereal boxes or as like mail-aways. Some of them were promos for various food products. But yeah, they were just everywhere. And at the time, they just seemed like cheap little disposable toys. You know, you might set them up and play with them a couple of times. I know that we did. But after that, they were just kind of forgotten. But now, I feel like these are some of the most nostalgic and most collectible little items. And I just love having them around. You know, they're like little tangible snapshots from another place and time. So let's go over to the rug because I have a pile of these figurines that I want to show you and talk about and see what kind of memories we can stir up from looking at these little toys. Do you have a few minutes to join me today? Come hang out. Okay everyone, welcome back to the rug / bed sheet, which I thought might be kind of fun for this video. And appropriately, the first little set of figures that I want to show you are in fact the California Raisins. Now I don't think this is all of the ones that I have. I've got some more scattered around the den in various places, but I could probably do an entire retrospective on the California Raisins and how big a deal they were back in the day. And I mean, I did a video on advertising mascots where I talked about them a little bit, but weren't they just like an advertisement for raisins, for like California Raisins, I think is all it was. It was just, I don't remember if it was a specific brand or what, but I think you got these figures at Hardee's. Remember Hardee's restaurants? I think you could get these there. But they're just so cool. Such a product of the time. They really were everywhere. I mean, as evidenced by bed sheets and posters and music albums and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I really like the California Raisins, and they're fun to have in the collection for sure. And really, when you think about little vintage PVC figures and little figurine style toys, you have to consider the Smurfs, like one of the originals and one of the most popular. Again, I just pulled a couple of them here, a couple of my favorites. This little football player one is really cool. I've had that one a long time. And then you got Smurfette here on roller skates. But yeah, I think Smurfs, when you think of these types of toys, like I said, they're probably the #1 most popular, I would think. Now we also had kind of like the underwater version of the Smurfs. We have Snorks. Also really cool, really collectible. Definitely a throwback to the 80s with these guys. I loved their cartoon. It had such a catchy theme song. I couldn't tell you their names. I think this is All-Star. I forgot this guy's name. I think it might be Junior, I think. And then this is, I think, Daphne or Cindy or something like that. But these are a little bit harder to find. Like, I don't know why. But you just don't see Snorks as often as you do Smurfs. And when you do, they cost a little bit more. But yeah, I really like the Smurfs and their underwater counterpart, the Snorks. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's take a look at some Chipmunks. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Now, I couldn't tell you where these are from. My eyesight's not good enough to really be able to, let's see. Yeah, it just has a year. And like the name of the manufacturer, I guess, for these ones. Yeah, so I don't know if these were like promos for a fast food item, like premium, or if they came in a cereal box, or if they were something else altogether that you could buy separately. I'm not sure. And this one's a little different, and this one's definitely more modern, this Simon here. $19.90 on that one. But yeah, that was one of my favorite cartoons back in the day. One of my favorite cartoon theme songs. I've actually had pets. You know, I've had dogs that I've named Alvin, and I have 2 dogs currently named Simon and Theodore. So yeah, we like this one. Good stuff there with Alvin and the Chipmunks. So another promotional item for a food product, or in this case a drink product, we've got the Kool-Aid Man. And these are some of my favorite little figures. I just think these things are so cool. You got the tennis player, you got the basketball player, and then most recently, thanks to friend of the channel Joe, we've got the weightlifter. Yeah, Kool-Aid Man, he was heavily featured also in that advertising mascots video that I did a couple of months ago. So if you want to learn more about him, you can go check that video out. But he was everywhere too. Commercials, little toys like this, comic books, all kinds of stuff. Doesn't get much more 80s/90s than Kool-Aid Man, in my opinion. So I know for a fact that these next ones came from a Happy Meal box because they're McDonald's characters. You got some Fry Kids. And I have some more of these as well, but these are just so cool. Like I've mentioned before on the channel, I'm kind of a fidgeter. I like to fidget with things while I'm working, like, you know, I'm on a call or whatever. I like to have things like this at my desk. And these are some of my favorites. Even missing their hats and their accessories and things, they're still a lot of fun. And I think one of the better Happy Meal toys from back then. And that's saying something because there were a lot of really good ones. So for this next little grouping, I pulled some of the more popular girls' toys from back in the day. You know, some of our strawberry shortcake and our Care Bears and things like that. And a Smurfette that I forgot to grab when I was showing you Smurfs a few minutes ago. But yeah, what's cool about these strawberry shortcake ones is they still smell like the strawberry scented plastic. And you probably know the smell if you think about it. It was kind of strong, and that the fact that it still smells good 40 years later, it you know, speaks to that. But I remember my friends across the street, they would open their toy box, and the whole thing would smell like strawberry shortcake. I've got a few different ones here. And then you got a Monchichi, remember those? Trying to find a year, but 1979, wow. Even older than I thought for the Monchichi. And you got some Care Bears. This was always my favorite from the Care Bears, was Swiftheart. Swiftheart Rabbit, I think. That's his name, right? I just think it's so cool that he has a skateboard. So many toys, and a couple more that I'm going to show you here in a minute also have skateboards. And here's a strawberry shortcake on a skateboard. And this right here is from Pound Puppies. And I had kind of forgotten that they did little PVC figures for Pound Puppies. Is that Nose Marie? I think that's who that is. Yeah, fun little group right there. Let's keep it moving. So when I was talking about skateboards, my next thought was to go ahead and grab some Simpsons, because I've got Bart Simpson here on a skateboard. One of my favorites. I'm constantly playing with this thing on my desk. This guy's done plenty of tricks across my keyboard. Is that lame? Probably. But hey. And then this one is from, I think, Burger King, when they did like the camping Simpson kids meal toys. And then we've got a Homer Simpson throwing a football. And I like this one a lot because it reminds me of a poster that I had on my wall as a kid. It was a poster of Homer throwing a football, telling Bart, go out for the long bomb, go long. And he's throwing the football and he's leading him right off a cliff. I just thought that was so like dark and morbid, but also kind of hilarious at the time. But yeah, just throwing the football and having Bart run off a cliff to catch it. But yeah, I've got a lot of Simpsons stuff here in the den, and these are just a few of my favorite for the little PVC figures. So I'm kind of running out of like groups and pairings and themes, so I'm eventually just going to be doing random figures, but we do have a couple more pairings left. Like I've got a couple of Garfields here. This one you've probably seen a million times. It's from a Happy Meal, a McDonald's Happy Meal. And he has a skateboard somewhere, probably up on the shelf someplace. But I always thought those were cool. And then this one, I think it's from the 70s. I just think it's awesome because he's got a football jersey, carrying a football. And I'm not going to be able to focus to get a year, but yeah. I think a lot of stuff for Garfield from this era, a lot of it was from the 70s, late 70s. Let's see, then we've got a couple of figures from the Get Along Gang. Anyone remember that Saturday morning cartoon?
So special in his own way. Montgomery's the leader and he's such a good sport. But get along, gang, get along, gang. There's Wilma and Dottie with the spirits. Bingo the prankster doesn't ruin it. Logical Portia will figure it out. And last is there for the lead machine. Get out with the get along, gang. Come on, their adventures don't end.
But yeah, here we've got Montgomery, the moose, and then I think her name is Wilma, right? Wool because she's a sheep. Yeah, I liked that cartoon a lot when I was a real little kid. I don't know if these I think these were toys you could buy, like they probably had little vehicles with them or something. I think there was like a little play set, I could be wrong. These could have been some kind of promo or premium for something, but can't remember. And then I've got just a couple of Disney Afternoon figures here. We've got Dale from Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, and then of course good old Uncle Scrooge McDuck with his money bag. From my two favorite Disney Afternoon cartoons. I did a whole video on the Disney Afternoon. If you liked DuckTales and Rescue Rangers and Tailspin and Darkwing Duck and those types of shows, go back and check that one out. Yeah, really fun stuff though. Okay, so this ought to be fun. Let's let the randomness begin. So I'm just going to start grabbing random figures off the pile and showing them to you. First one up, we've got here another character on a skateboard. We've got Pork Chop from Doug. Remember Nicktoons on Nickelodeon? Doug Funny. This was his pal, Pork Chop. And this is probably Burger King or Wendy's or something like that. But really cool. I'm a sucker for anytime they put a character on a skateboard. I usually try to grab those if I can. Let's see, next up. I know I've got at least one fan who watches the channel who likes Teddy Ruxpin and can appreciate that one. Yeah, this is a really cool little figure. I never had Teddy Ruxpin, the actual toy, the teddy bear that would read you books. But I did like the cartoon, and that's I think what this figure is representing. Shifting gears here, we've got from Marvel's Fantastic Four, we've got the Thing, Ben Grimm himself. Really cool little like statue. No idea what it's from. But the Fantastic Four was always one of my favorite superhero teams, like families. I think they're a little underrated. I always liked reading their books. And they had a pretty good cartoon in the 90s as well. And I think that might be what this is from. Speaking of 90s, this has to be early 90s, right? Like 91, 92. From Burger King Kids Club. I forgot this guy's name. But whatever his name is, he's riding a dolphin right out of your Kids Club meal. If If I can find the commercial for these, I'll put it in here because I'm curious myself what that's from and when it came out.
Got places to go, people to see, but why not pop over to Burger King and find out how to join the Kids Club?
Details are specified in the Kids Club newsletter.
So if you're just hanging out, why not pop into Burger King?
You got a friend to hold on to, so make it fun whatever you do. Boomer Kids, Big Jaws, and IQ. It's the Kids Club gang, and they're waiting for you.
You can get one of 4 Kids Club action figures when you buy a kids meal at Burger King. The Burger King Kids Club, just for fun, just for you.
Sticking with fast food premiums, we've got Mac Tonight from McDonald's. Again, shocker, I'm sure you're surprised. He's on a skateboard. I've got another 1 or 2 of figures of these guys and like a water bottle and some stuff. I thought he was pretty cool. Very much a product of the late 80s there. I can kind of hear the song in my head as I look at that guy. Who we got next? Oh, here we go. Let's talk about Random. Is this Ruff? I think his name is Ruff. And yes, that is Dennis the Menace's dog from the Dennis the Menace cartoon. I feel like I can hear Seth Rogen in my head right now on 40-Year-Old Virgin asking, why do you have that? And you know what? You could say that about a lot of things in this room, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, I loved that cartoon, that Dennis the Menace cartoon. I've got a couple of them on VHS and DVD that I'll still put in from time to time. And that's his best friend, Ruff. Here we've got, not on a skateboard, but on a surfboard, we've got Snagglepuss from, Hanna-Barbera. Really cool. He rolls around the desk pretty well, got little wheels. Let's see, when did this come from? Wendy's. Available exclusively at Wendy's. 1990, I think that's what that says. Yeah, really cool little figure there. Now this is one of the oldest toys that I can ever remember owning, and that's Fat Albert. Now this isn't the original one that I had as a kid, but it's the same thing. I found it, years later, I think at a toy show or a convention or something. And it was one of those moments where you unlock a memory. You're like, oh wow, I had that thing when I was 3 or 4 years old. Yeah. Used to watch that cartoon a lot. Fat Albert. Who's next? Oh, we got the old Alfer. Gordon Shumway, Alf. Dressed up here as Red Riding Hood. From the Alf Tales cartoon, I believe. 1990. Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably never turn down anything Alf related if I see it out in the wild. This guy is this Dodger? I always get him mixed up with, I'm pretty sure this is the dog from Oliver and Company, I think. He's not the one from All Dogs Go to Heaven, that's a different dog. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Dodger from Oliver and Company. And this was a McDonald's, I believe. Little finger puppet. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to see that, but cool. He's got his bandana and his sunglasses. Pretty cool. Here we have one of the little mascots from Tang. Remember Tang? They had these little claymation lips or mouth characters in their commercials. And I guess they did some giveaways. I don't know if it's something you probably had to mail away for or like send off a proof of purchase from a couple of containers of Tang and they'll send you one of these little guys. And he's got his jeans and his Converse All-Stars on. Getting to the bottom of the stack here, guys. Let's see. This is Robbie from Dinosaurs. Great sitcom from the early 90s. I think was part of the one of the TGIF lineups. What does he have there? A boombox? Yeah, I think he's got a boombox. That's pretty cool. And his Letterman jacket. I always thought he kind of sounded like Michael J. Fox on the show. All right, we've got a Nintendo representative here with Mario himself chucking a fireball. I always like finding old Nintendo merchandise. I think it's always so cool to see. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorites. He's got a good display spot here in the den. Now let's see, we got 3 left. This is Snarf from Thundercats. And I think he is he's meant to go on your pencil. Yeah, you can put him, it's like a pencil topper. You know, you put him on there and then you're the coolest kid at school writing with Snarf on your pencil. I think that may have been a fast food, like a Burger King or something. And then here we have one of the ghosts that came with your Ghostbusters action figures. Right? Like whenever you bought one of the original Ghostbuster figures, I'm pretty sure they all came with a ghost for them to battle. And I don't know which one this, went to, who he belonged to. But I think it's really cool. It's like that translucent plastic that we got on so many toys back then. Definitely makes me think of that great toy line and that awesome Saturday morning cartoon. And then the last little miniature figure for today, we've got a glow friend, a glowworm. Couldn't tell you this one's name. Probably Sleepy or something like that. Yeah, and this one, I should have done it for the video, but I didn't prepare well enough. But this one actually still glows. So you hold it up to the light bulb and then take it into a dark room and it lights up. I showed it to my kids not too long ago. Still works after all this time, but yeah, another great little figure from a great toy line and a cartoon that I liked watching a lot when I was real little too. And there we have it, guys. We looked through all of these figures. And as I'm sitting here thinking about putting them back on the shelf in all their various places, I was thinking how cool it would be to get one of those, like, I don't even know what they're called. It's like a wooden display frame for like thimbles, I think, or maybe like little shot glasses or something. If I can find a picture, I'll put it in and show you what I'm talking about. But I think it would be cool to get one of those with all its little compartments and put one of these in each little slot and then hang that on the wall. I think that'd be fun. So I may have to keep an eye out for something like that next time I'm at an antique mall or an estate sale or something. I don't know, what do you guys think? As it is now, these things are just kind of spread throughout my shelves in front of the books or, in various places, just stuck here and there. Some of them do go in a basket that I just have on a shelf, but yeah, like I said, these things are very nostalgic. I think they're just fun to have around. And that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
And there we are. So did you see anything today that sparked a memory for you? And did you have fun taking a look back at some very basic little figures? If you did, consider subscribing. But for now, and as always, relax, enjoy life, and be kind. We'll see you in the next one.